Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at something that came in a little bit late for the Black Friday sale, but you can still pick it up and get a discount with my discount code, and that is the Olight O-Knife Parrot. Alright folks, welcome back. So, in the intro I told you this came in a little bit late. This was part of the Black Friday sale and it didn't arrive on time, so I wanted to give you a look at it because I've actually been carrying this and it is now taken over the pocket knife that I carried every day. Now granted, the pocket knife I carried every day was kind of an old beater. It wasn't a brand name. It was some knife I got way when I started the channel years ago for review. It has the seatbelt cutter on it, the glass breaker. It's got all that stuff. The reason I carried that knife is because the blade on it was made of a very nice steel. It was D2 steel. And it sharpened up and held its edge very, very well. So while it was an older knife, it served its purpose. And I'm not a believer in carrying $500 and $600 pocket knives. I've used them too much, and I know how beat up they get, and I know eventually you drop them, you lose them, they fall down somewhere where you can't grab it. So that's why I like this knife. It's not overly expensive. They run about 75 bucks. Okay, and with a 10% discount using my code, now that the sale's over, and I will put that code down below, I believe it's Iridium242. You can get 10% off, so you get a little bit of deal off. And Olight's really stepping up their game in the knife world, I gotta say. I know some people aren't a fan of their lights. I get that. I love the things myself. I've never had a negative experience with one. Maybe I'm lucky. I don't know. Never had a problem with them. But I do like their knives. And I've noticed, as I see more and more of their development, that every knife comes back in a little bit better than the one before. And this was definitely one of their best. I like the feel of it. I like the size of it. It is a smaller knife, and we'll get into size and all that in a bit. But what I really like about it is that it's steel. Now, you'll notice in the title I said Supersteel. Well, 154 cm is kind of like an entry-level steel in the world of higher performance steels. It's one of the more popular steels. Benchmade uses it a lot for a lot of their items. I believe it adds, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, I'm sure I am, molybdenum to 440 stainless. So it's got really nice edge retention. It's a nice flat grind on this. There's no secondary bevel. I'll give you a look at the edge there. And this is right out of the box. There was a little bit of oil on it. Some people are like, oh, it came oily. I'm like, wipe it off. It's no big deal. There was a little bit of oil in it. As a matter of fact, I just got some of that on my Carter. That will wear in. I don't worry about that. Yeah, that's a matter of just wiping it off. No big deal. Another nice thing is the blade itself. It has that modified kind of sheep's foot blade. So you got good edge retention with a decent blade. Definitely, for a smaller knife, it fills your hand pretty well, and I have rather large hands. So I'm not complaining about that. I like the feel of it. I feel it's very comfortable. It's a nice looking little knife, and I feel it's comfortable in my hand, and that's the most important thing for me. Being that I've worked in places where I'm breaking down cardboard boxes constantly, uncomfortable knives stink. Let me tell you, you will find a hot spot on a knife in no time flat if you're cutting up cardboard all the time and cutting up tape. And the place I worked in actually was a banquet hall for a big hotel chain. And I'll tell you, we would do the banquets, and then at the end of the shift, we'd have to break down the boxes for the recycling bin and all that. And you'll find out how quickly your knife stinks if you have to do stuff like that. So one of the nice things about this is it's got that nice downward slope tip. So you've got nice cutting and slicing performance with it. It also does not have a sharp spine. So if you're thinking about carrying this to strike a ferro rod, no, it's not going to do it. Then again, most people don't carry a pocket knife to do that. My other one would. That's why I carried it as well. But, I'm not really worried about that. I always have something I can use as a striker, as well as a ferro rod and striker right on my keychain. So I don't really worry about that too much. So let's move on and talk about the handle on this. The handle is made from micarta, and it's a really nice looking micarta. I kind of want to get a different color behind there in my hand. It's almost a green and black. I know it's going to be one of those internet things. Is the dress yellow or green or blue? But it's sort of a green and black kind of micarta, and it's a rough surface. It's not where they do micarta and then put the high polish on it. It's a grippy kind of, almost feels like a little bit like fabric, but it's a grippy surface. And as you can tell, where I got that oil in, it's almost all gone. It just kind of soaks it in. And it's not one of those slick ones that'll just slip out of your hand. For a smaller knife, it has a nice grip to it, nice feel to it. And I do like that very, very much. Very, very handy to keep in your hand and hold like that. Now, inside the handle itself, you have a really nice, robust liner lock. Okay? ball bearing action on this, so it's very, very smooth. Now we're going to go over how I open this up, but first I want to tell you it's 3.7 inches when closed. Nice deep carry pocket clip. And it's perfect for everyday carry, you know, where you don't want to be carrying a big, huge pocket knife. Maybe you're dressed up a little bit. You want to just kind of tuck that in your pocket. You always have it with you. Now, you notice something missing on this. How do you open it? Where's my flipper handle? Well, that's done to keep this a little more stealth as well. You don't have that thing sticking out there poking you in the leg all day. You have a front flipper. Now, a lot of people, I'm going to do this with my hands this way here. A lot of people will try to do this, and that's not going to work. Trust me, unless you've got incredible finger strength in that. How I open this, I grip it like this when I take it out, and I flip it with my thumb. It doesn't take much to flip it either. It's a very smooth action, as you can tell. It's a very, very nice smooth action, but you're going to be flipping it open with your thumb. It'll take you a few times to learn how to do this because we're so used to just doing the back flip that the front flip seems kind of weird and strange, but let me tell you, that is a really nice smooth knife and it opens very, very well. And I do like the size of it folded as well. So you definitely have a neat little system going on there for smooth and quick, safe deployment. Now another thing, I did mess around with this a little bit, and one of the things I've noticed is you've got a nice finger choil up here and a nice bit of jimping here. So it gives you a little bit of ability to do a little bit of detail work. You can actually carve a little bit with this, as opposed to some bland old pocket knives that don't have any of that, and you're cutting and you try to do a little detail work and you're sliding all over the blade. You do have that little bit of a finger choil up there, although you do need to be careful because right there is sharp and right there is your finger choil. So I wouldn't recommend this for, you know, sitting and carving, you know, stuff out of, but it definitely allows you to do it very carefully if you do want to do that later. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to give it a little bit of a test on some common tasks. We're not going to go crazy with it because, again, it's a pocket knife. Pocket knives are very, very important, I feel, as one of your first line survival tools. This is something you're probably always going to carry. You may not have your bug-out bag. You may not even be carrying your guns sometimes. I know, sacrilege. But you may always have a pocket knife with you. And they can get you out of a lot of tough situations by being able to do these common tasks. Maybe cutting some bank line, cordage, whatever. You know, you always have a pocket knife with you, cutting up some wood to start a fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some basic, simple tests. We're not doing anything, you know, over the top. And try it out. I'm not going to baton with it, but we are going to give it a try. So let me move the camera back a little bit so you can see the performance of it. Okay, so I got some basic paracord here. This is actually a little bit better paracord. I hate using it for tests like this because basically it becomes useless after. But as you can see, it just sails through that. I'm going to double it up. And it came very sharp, by the way. This one came out of the box pretty darn sharp, being fumble fingers this morning. There we go, right through it. I mean, it has no problem cutting through that stuff. So, you know, that's a good start. And as you can tell, you kind of have the bottom of the blade here, the belly of the blade, right where you want it. So you get that good starting, you know, pressure on it, and it slices right through. You see how easily that tears through that. Let's see one more time here. And it doesn't even require that much effort. So, slicing-wise, that's a nice little knife to have. That's a nice little edge. I like the geometry of the blade and all. Very, very, it almost looks polished. I can't tell if you can tell that on the camera. But it almost looks polished, like they bothered to sharpen it and then strop it with maybe some polishing compound. It does come with this nice little bag here. Would I use this for storage? Maybe long term. Maybe after I carry this for 6 months and I get tired and I want to try something different, I'd use it for something different. But, you know, I'd use it for storage. But it does have this, and for those of you that do collect, I know some people think this is the dumbest thing in the world. There are some people that really collect these. It comes with the little Olight Parrot challenge coin there. It's kind of neat. Again, I do wish Olight would give you the option of just having the knife without this, because I know this adds expense to it. It is very nice. I'm not saying it's horrible. I just know it adds some expense to it. And quite frankly, I'd like to see them offer it without it. That way you don't have to worry about it. So, let's move on to the next test. And that's going to be just some good old cardboard. Let me back up the camera a little bit so you can actually see the whole thing. And we'll try it out and see how it works on cardboard. Alright, so here we go. Look at that. It's just sailing through it. That is amazing. That does a really, really nice job. Now, this is older cardboard. To be fair, you see the thickness of it. You know, this isn't super thick cardboard, but it just sails through that with the minimum of effort. So that was really impressive. Now, the last thing that I mentioned before is doing a little shaving, maybe making some feather sticks. This is just a piece of fat wood. So really what I'm going to try to do is just shave up some wood here and make some shavings, maybe to start a fire. I'm not going to start a fire with it because, again, the spine is not 90 degrees. It will not strike a ferro rod. In an emergency, yes, of course, you could use the blade. You'll probably dull it or ruin it, but you can use it in an emergency. But let's try this out first. I got a nice side here that hasn't been tried out yet. Yeah, actually, it's actually making feather sticks with this dried up old fat wood, which is really impressive. Yeah, it seems to be, it's not, I'm not getting any hot spots in my hand or anything. I tend to, when I use something, I grip it really hard, and I kind of have to break myself of that habit, but I'm not having any kind of hot spots or trouble. And it is actually doing really nice feather sticks out of this old fat wood that's been sitting out here for a good long time. This is that store-bought stuff, So you see, all in all, very capable little pocket knife. And I gotta say, for what I'm seeing from them, they're really stepping up their game a whole lot, looking to get serious into the knife world, especially with what I'd say an entry-level Supersteel. Definitely worth the money. And for the price, you can't go wrong. For 75 bucks for a knife like this, with a decent edge retention, decent steel, really can't go wrong. I have to say, there was a time where, a gas station knife was fine for me, actually during the time that I was working at that hotel, because I knew zero about sharpening. I lived in New York City where I wasn't able to run down to the corner store and buy a knife sharpener. There really wasn't a demand for that kind of stuff. And when it got dull, I literally threw it out and bought a new one. So for me to have something that's a little bit better and a little more higher end is nice. I do have some nice pocket knives, and I haven't even reviewed all of them because pocket knife reviewing can be kind of boring at times. But when I come across something that kind of stands out like this, I like to do it and I like to let you guys know about it. So that is the Olight Parrot. Nice little pocket knife. And again, like I said, I feel that, if you're just starting to get prepped, if you're just starting to prep, having a decent pocket knife, or even having a pocket knife, I don't care what kind you buy. I don't care if it's $1 one you picked out of the basket at the flea market, is better than not having one at all. Learning how to sharpen it, learning how to keep your edge nice on it, and learning how to use it, and having it for when you need it. This doesn't have a seatbelt cutter on it per se, but there's no reason why this can't cut a seatbelt if you get stuck in your car or if you come across an accident. It doesn't have a window breaker, a glass breaker, but I guarantee you with that tip, even if I ruined the tip, I could break my way out of a glass window. So, some of the gimmicks and the other stuff, I realized, as much as I like that old knife, this is what I'm going to be carrying from now on to see how I like it, because actually it's, it's a nice little step up, and it's not a huge heavy pocket knife. I know some people hate carrying around a 20, 30 ounce pocket knife. This thing is super, super light. This is 3.3 ounces. Okay, the blade again is a modified sheep's foot. You got a Rockwell hardness of 58 on this. That's what it came out in the test. Overall length 6.3 inches. Okay, you have micarta grips, and like I said, I love the micarta grips. That's really, really nice. They have that grippy feel to them. They're not all polished up. Your handle length is 3.7 inches. Like we said, the blade, 154 cm stainless steel, and the blade length is 2.6 inches. For those of you that live in areas where you have to keep it under 3 inches, you got a nice, robust, decent knife under 3 inches. And it is a flat, full grind. So, I'm definitely pleased with it. I'm happy with it. And I definitely wanted to bring it to you guys because, yeah, it came after the sale, and yeah, it's a little more expensive now, but it's actually a really nice knife. And I don't always do that with stuff that comes in late. Sometimes I will just go, oh well, save it for the next sale, or just, keep it boxed up and, that's it. I can't do anything with it. So I wanted to let you know about it. And I actually want to use it and do a little follow-up on it after a couple months and see how I end up liking it. That is the Olight Parrot from Olight. I will put the link down below where you can pick it up in the store, and I will give you my 10% discount, which is Iridium 242. It will be down there. Because there's no sale going on, you can use my code to get 10% off on this. So I will put that down below, and I will clean up my mess. I thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out all our other links down below. We have our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store. If you're interested in getting started, you can purchase stuff without having to join anything. You can just try it out. You'll save a little bit of money by being a delivery customer, but still good deal there. We also have our freeze-dried wholesalers link. By clicking that link, you save 15% on anything he has in the store. And while other retailers are running out of food, he's cranking it out. He already saw this coming. He really stocked up on food. He's got it built. He built refrigerators to hold extra food. He's got his plant running 3 shifts, morning, noon, and night. So anything you need, even if it says out of stock, it's just out of stock really means it'll just be a little bit longer to get to you, maybe 2 or 3 days instead of 3 or 5 days instead of 2 or 3 days. So it'll definitely get to you. We have our Patriot Supply link down below, my Patriot Supply link. That is preparewithiridium.com. Loads of bulk food deals there. You can save up to $200 to $300 on some of the deals. So check them out as well. And our Amazon affiliate store, which always has all the stuff that I review in it. I thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.